Frank, thank you very much for joining me on the show. It's really nice to chat with you. Of course, you'll be prepping now for your undefeated tour, which starts at the beginning of April, especially with the fact you begin in the northeast here as well, just up the road in Newcastle. And what I wanted to ask you first was, a Frank Turner tour poster is something I see quite often. What is it that keeps you going, and is it just like that love of playing live?
Oh yeah, I mean, yes, that's the short answer. I love playing live. It's the one thing in life I think that I'm reasonably good at. I mean, people may disagree, but that's I've had a lot of practice at this point. If I wasn't, that would be tragic. I mean, I grew up idolizing kind of American hardcore punk bands that toured themselves into the ground, like Black Flag and Minutemen and Minor Threat and stuff. And I always wanted to do that when I grew up, and here I am. And I just, particularly now that I'm, 20 plus years into doing this, there's a big part of me that just feels incredibly fortunate to still be standing and doing this. And therefore,
Yeah.
I should make the most of it. I should enjoy it. I should do it as much as I possibly can until the general public and their wisdom turn around and tell me I'm not welcome anymore. So I love it.
I'm sure that's a long time off.
Fingers
But
crossed.
no, I'm pretty positive on that one. But yeah, of course, it's again in support of your most recent album, Undefeated. So just how excited are you to get back out on the road again this April and tour this album again?
I'm very excited. I mean, it's I've been on tour a fair bit, all of last year and quite a lot of this year and as well. So I've been busy, but I think the thing that I love, I'm fortunate. I get to travel all around the world playing music, and how best to phrase this? There are days when I kind of sort of slightly forget about the UK. Do you know what I mean? Not as
Yeah.
in that I'm going to do it, but like we show up for a UK tour, and the first show, the atmosphere is off the charts, and I would say better than most places in the world. And me and my band, we play the first show of a UK tour, and we're all like, "Oh my God, like that was amazing! We should do this more often." And it's been a while since we did a proper UK tour. It's been a little while since we were in Newcastle as well. Sorry. So we're on our way back, and Newcastle Northeast shows, I should say, are always a blast. So we're excited to be back through.
What are some of the best memories you have then of playing up here in the Northeast in like the previous years and everything?
I mean, there are many to choose from. I do remember that on my first kind of bout of solo touring, when I used to take the train with a rucksack and a guitar case, I literally couldn't get a gig in Newcastle. I couldn't find anybody who wanted to book me. So I ended up playing in my friend Rachel's front room for about 15 people. And I had a good time. But
Wow.
that's on the decks as my first solo show in the Northeast. Since then, we've played other places now as well. I always loved playing at the Clooney, which I believe is still there.
Yes. But yeah, that's a fantastic venue, the Clooney.
Yeah, the Clooney and
Yeah.
Trillions as well. I always had a good time at Trillions. Yeah, I mean, a lot of my crew are actually from North Shields, as it goes. So we've got some kind of crew connections with the area as well. So it's always a good time heading back up to town.
So it's a hometown show for some then with
For
the
some, yeah,
Clooney.
and
Yeah.
we usually end up. It's the Head of Steam, I think I'm right in saying, is the place.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I mean, good
Yeah.
Lord, I can't tell you stories about things I've done in the Head of Steam because this is a radio broadcast.
I'm sure there's some good ones though, but no, hopefully hear them another time. But yeah, of course, there's one thing that you did announce as well, which I wanted to ask you about. It's an incredibly important thing, and I think it's a great thing that you've done and are doing. And it's, of course, you're looking for unsigned acts to open up at some
Yeah,
of these shows. I believe it's all 14 dates, isn't it?
that is correct. Yes, I want to try and get a different person for every show. I mean, we have my friends Amigo the Devil are opening all of the shows. They're some friends of mine from the States, wonderful band. But I always have two supports, generally speaking. And I was thinking about, it's quite difficult though. There's so many people I would love to give an opening slot to. And there's only so many slots going, and there's only so many tours in the world, and just the idea sort of occurred to me to try and pay it forward in a broader way. My own career in a slightly old-fashioned way. I made my bones opening for other people. I was fortunate enough to be taken on tour by the Levellers and Biffy Clyro and Green Day and Flogging Molly and all these other kinds of bands. And being an opener is such a fun challenge. You've got half an hour or whatever it is to make a room full of
Yeah.
people who have no idea who you are care. And it's a good challenge and it makes you better as a performer. And if you can pull it off, then you've got something going on. So yeah, the idea was just like, well, let's see who's out there. So hopefully this will help some people out with the shows, but also I get to listen to a load of new music as well.
Yeah.
There will, of course, be the difficult moment where I have to choose. We've already had like 20 people apply to be the opener for the Newcastle show, which is amazing, and I will listen to them all. But at some point, I have to pick one and turn 19
Yeah.
people down, and it's going to break my gentle, delicate heart. But I brought this on myself.
No, it's I think just a hats off to you for the fact you're doing it anyway, because you are going to give 14 artists or bands an amazing opportunity, and like you say, it's so important for like emerging artists to get these support slots. So I just think it's a great thing that you're doing that.
Thank you.
And just in terms of the tour as a whole, then for people coming to see you, what can they expect on the night, then, Frank?
Well, it's me and my boys at the end of the night doing our thing, prancing around for a couple of hours, yelling. That's what my mum says. I mean, basically, the first thing I would say is that I believe the gentleman doesn't reveal his set list in advance. So I'm not going to tell people
Yeah.
exactly what we're playing because I want it to be a surprise. But I try and think about a set list from the point of view of an audience member, and some people like some records and some people like other records, and lots of people have only seen me once every 5 years or whatever, and this is all a roundabout way of saying that I'm a bit of a crowd pleaser when it comes to set lists. So I like to play a bit of something of each of the records that I've done. I want to make sure that everybody goes home feeling uh, energized and enlivened and refreshed and all that kind of stuff. So there'll be a bit of everything from everywhere. I mean, there'll be stuff from the new record, but there'll be some songs from my first album as well.
A nice variety.
Exactly.
I like it a lot. Well, Frank, thank you very much for chatting with me again. It's been a pleasure to chat with you all about this tour, and I wish you the very best of luck with it.
Thank you very much, man. It's good chatting.